إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. قال الله عز وجل في كتابه الكريم بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم: يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. وقال في مقام آخر: يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. وقال في مقام آخر: يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد، فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. My brothers and sisters in Islam, today for the Jummah Khutbah, I wanted to remind myself and everyone about a story that we all frequently read. A story that we all pass by possibly on every Friday. A story that is found in Surah Al-Kahf, and that is the story of Musa and Al-Khadr alayhi salam. Inshallah, I'll give a brief summary of the story, and then inshallah I'll mention some lessons that can be extracted from this so that they may benefit us. Bi-idhnillah. The origins of this story start off when Musa alayhi salam was asked, while he was speaking to the children of Israel, Bani Israel, and he was asked, who amongst the people is the most knowledgeable? So Musa alayhi salam answered that I am the most knowledgeable. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not like that answer. He did not like that Musa alayhi salam didn't say, Wallahu alam, Allah knows best. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told him that, hey, look, there is a servant of mine on the earth that is more knowledgeable than you. So Musa alayhi salam said, oh Allah, I wish to meet him. So he said, okay, take a fish with you and put it in a vessel and set out to meet him, and you will find him at the junction of the two seas. So Musa alayhi salam went ahead and did this. He took a fish, put it in a vessel, and he also happened to take a small boy servant with him on his way to meet this man who Allah says has more knowledge than him. While on their journey, as they kept proceeding, Musa alayhi salam and the young servant, whose name was Yusha, decided to rest at a certain rock. And they happened to actually reach the point of the junction of the two seas. They took some rest at this rock, and while they were sleeping, the fish happened to slip away. But they didn't know that. And when Musa alayhi salam woke up, him alayhi salam and the boy proceeded on their journey. And then after a while they remembered, Musa alayhi salam inquired about the fish, and then they realized that the fish had slipped away. So Musa alayhi salam then realized that Al-Khadr alayhi salam is probably back at where they took some rest. So they traced their footsteps back to where they took rest at the rock, and then Musa alayhi salam found Al-Khadr alayhi salam standing right there. And then they greeted each other with salam, and they met each other. And then Musa alayhi salam mentioned that you are a man who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given lots of knowledge which that I do not know. And then he asked him if he can follow him so that he may learn from him. قَالَ هَلْ أَتَّبِيُكَ عَلَىٰ أَن تُعَلِّمَنِي مِمَّا عُلِّمْتَ رُشْدًا. But Al-Khadr alayhi salam replied, قَالَ إِنَّكَ لَن تَسْتَطِيعَ مَعَيَ صَبْرًا, that you will not be able to have patience with me. وَكَيْفَ تَصْبِرُ عَلَى مَا لَمْ تُحِطُ بِهِ خُبْرًا, and how will you be able to have patience over something that you do not know? Because you are going to see me do some things that will surprise you. And you will not be able to have patience on them. Musa alayhi salam said that, hey look, Allah has also blessed me with some knowledge that you do not know. And inshallah, I will have patience with you. And I will not give you a hard time. So Al-Khadr alayhi salam agreed. And so they went on starting their journey while they were walking on the shore. And they happened to board a ship. The people of the ship recognized Al-Khadr alayhi salam, and they allowed Al-Khadr alayhi salam and Musa alayhi salam to board the ship. After they boarded the ship, Al-Khadr alayhi salam took an adze, which is an axe-like device or tool, and he struck a hole in the ship. And when Musa alayhi salam saw him doing that, he said, he was so shocked. He said, قَالَ أَخَرَقَتَهَا لِتُغْرِقَ أَهْلَهَا لَقَدْ جِئْتَ شَيْئًا إِمْرًا. Did you put a hole in the ship so that the people of this ship could drown? Indeed, you did something terrible. And what did Al-Khadr alayhi salam say? قَالَ أَلَمْ أَقُلْ إِنَّكَ لَن تَسْتَطِيعَ مَعِيَ صَبْرًا. Didn't I tell you that you will not be able to have patience with me? So Musa alayhi salam then remembered. He said, okay. قَالَ لَا تُؤَاخِذْنِي بِمَا نَسِيتُ. Forgive me for what I forgot. وَلَا تُرْهِقْنِي مِنْ أَمْرِي عُسْرًا. And don't be so harsh on me. Give me another chance. So they went ahead and proceeded on their journey. They left the ship, and then they began to walk on the shore again. And then they passed by some boys who were playing, some young children. Al-Khadr alayhi salam happened to go towards one of the small children. He took a hold of his head and tore his head off and killed the child. And when Musa alayhi salam saw this, again, he was shocked. قَالَ أَقَتَلْتَ نَفْسًا زَكِيَّةً بِغَيْرِ نَفْسٍ لَقَدْ جِئْتَ شَيْئًا نُكْرًا. Did you kill a young innocent child who had done nothing wrong? Indeed, you did something evil. And what did Al-Khadr alayhi salam say? قَالَ أَلَمْ أَقُلْ لَكَ إِنَّكَ لَن تَسْتَطِيعَ مَعِيَ صَبْرًا. Didn't I tell you, you will not be able to have patience with me? So Musa alayhi salam then remembered again, and he said, okay, look. قَالَ إِن سَأَلْتُكَ عَنْ شَيْءٍ بَعْدَهَا فَلَا تُصَاحِبْنِي قَدْ بَلَغْتَ مِن لَدُنِّي عُذْرًا. That if I ask you one more time regarding the things you do, then don't take me as a companion anymore. You have received an excuse from me. So Al-Khadr alayhi salam and Musa alayhi salam then proceeded, and they went to a town, and they asked the people for some food, but the people refused to give them food. They refused to be hospitable to them. Nevertheless, aside from that fact, Al-Khadr alayhi salam happened to see a wall that was falling down within that town, and he went ahead and fixed it with his own hands. So then Musa alayhi salam mentioned, hey look, we came here, they weren't hospitable to us, they didn't feed us, and you fixed their wall for them. You could at least taken some wages for doing that. So now Al-Khadr alayhi salam says what? Strike three. You're out. قَالَ هَذَا فِرَاقُ بَيْنِي وَبَيْنِكَ. This is the parting between me and you. سَأُنَبِّئُكَ بِتَأْوِيلِ مَا لَمْ تَسْتَطِعْ عَلَيْهِ صَبْرًا. And now I will explain the reasons behind why I did the things I did. I'll tell you the interpretation. And then Al-Khadr alayhi salam goes on to tell him, as for that ship that I put a hole in, remember the ship that Al-Khadr alayhi salam put a hole in the beginning of the story? He said, I put a hole in that ship because that ship belonged to some poor people. And they would pass by a king on their journey, a cruel king that would seize every good ship. He would take every good ship. So if he would see a fault in the ship, he would not take the ship. So Al-Khadr alayhi salam was saving the ship for those poor people so that they may benefit from it, and so that the king would not seize it. Then as for that boy, وَأَمَّا الْغُلَامِ, as for that boy that I killed, why did I kill him? This boy, had he grown up, he would have grown up to become a disbeliever. And their parents, who were righteous people, who were believers, their love for that child was so strong that it would have led them to become disbelievers too, if this child would have grown up. So Allah decided to replace this child with another child. So that is why He took the life of that child. The third part of the story, when they entered the town, and Al-Khadr alayhi salam fixed the wall without taking any wages, He said, I fixed this wall because underneath this wall was a treasure, was some wealth that belonged to two orphans, and their father was a righteous man. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala desired that these two orphans grow to their full age and take benefit of that treasure which was underneath the wall because of the righteousness of their father, who was a righteous man. Indeed, this is an amazing story in which many lessons can be extracted. And inshallah, I'll just mention a few, starting with the first part of the story, the ship. Al-Khadr alayhi salam put a hole in the ship so that the whole ship could be saved from a cruel king. What can we learn from this point? A small example is that we all suffer some calamities in our life. And maybe sometimes there is a reason behind the calamity that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is trying to save you from a larger calamity. For example, for a small example, if you're driving on the road and you happen to have a flat tire, maybe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is trying to save you from an accident down the road. Maybe He's trying to save you from some hazard that's coming in your path. You don't know. Now, this doesn't mean you drive with flat tires that have needles in them. I mean, this is jahiliyyah. You take the steps you need to be safe. But if something happens to happen all of a sudden, be satisfied with the qadr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Maybe He's trying to save you from something. On a larger note, we all know about the financial crisis today. Many people losing their jobs, losing money, losing businesses, as a brother mentioned before the khutbah. This should not be an excuse for people to lose their Islamic values. Unfortunately, within this last year, when this downturn started in the economy, unfortunately, many Muslims resorted to a lot of bad things. Some went to the extent they were beating their wives out of frustration. Some resorted to drinking out of frustration. Some resorted to gambling, trying to win their money back. And it put them in a worse situation than they were. You know, if some calamity befalls you, there is some reason behind it. And maybe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has something better for you in store later on. But it just requires some patience. لا يقضي الله للمؤمن من قضاء إلا كان خيرا له. Allah does not decree anything for a believer except that it will turn out to be good for him. There is a potential for good in everything that befalls a believer. But it just depends on how you react. If you react in a way that Allah wants you to react when a calamity befalls you, inshallah there will be some good to come. But if you are resorting to these bad things, then there will only be bad along the way. How many times do we read the ayah, but we forget, Inna ma'al usri yusra. With hardship comes ease. With hardship comes ease. Allah repeats it twice. Trying to send a message, trying to make it embedded within our hearts, that remember, with hardship comes ease. Have some patience. Allah has something better in store for you. So inshallah, this is a lesson for all of us. Things are going bad, but alhamdulillah, there's only good on the way. And you know, the companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they were actually more at ease. They found themselves more at ease during the times of difficulty than ease. When they were in times of difficulty, they would feel better because they know that only good is on the way. So they were actually feeling better at these times.